Hey, kia ora whānau. How's it going? Hey, this is Rewa Te Kau here, Kaitiaki Māra Kai, backyard gardens, living sustainably in your mara. And I'm actually down here at Taupō at a retreat, and I thought I would show you the foliage and the leaves dropping, because we don't really have this too much up north. And so I'm in it's about 8 degrees here now down in Taupō, which is a lake in the centre of the North Island for those of you from overseas who are watching this. And it's autumn. You know, you've got all these demonstrations of autumnness happening. These would have been brown, green in the summertime, but they're now, as winter comes, the signs of the transitions from season to season, the leaves are falling. One of the things I wanted to just to remind us about is, remember we've talked about in the past about your covering on your soil, and here's one usage of your grass, or in this case the leaf clippings and so forth, is you can collect all this up and then layer it down onto your butter, just like that they've done here. I've got bark. That's one thing that you can actually do with it, and it makes a good kind of compost on side. And if you have got winter vegetables, particularly in your more colder climates that are susceptible to frosts, with root crops coming through, you could actually layer this down, and it could give you a protection on the soil and keep a bit of the heat in the soil. Another thing I want you to note, we've talked about this before in relationship to the location of the sun. So if I pull back a bit, where I'm staying at the moment, you can see the shadow. See the shadow there? So the further south you go within the New Zealand context that we are in, the location, and in particular its influence on laying out shadows, like up to here, is quite important. So you may think about, because the temperature I am standing in here is markedly different to when you're in the sun. So part of thinking about your backyard garden is that if you've got your mara, like say that edging over there, that's always going to be in the shade, because the sun from here comes from that way and pretty much goes across over that way. And so if you had a garden here, you're going to find it very hard to grow vegetables or produce in that type of line that you got there. Whereas if you're out here where the sun is, you do see the difference between the foliage and things that are growing. So ideally, the further south you are, you want to be able to expose your garden to as much sun as possible for the winter time, if you're wanting to grow stuff through there. And then what you can do is all this sort of foliage that's falling down from the trees, you can utilise that like mulch or clippings, as we see down in here. You can layer it out in a way that protects the soil, and it will help later on too. So in here you've got all this lovely soil down in here. You've got mulch, wood chips, but it all breaks down and adds to the soil as it's layered in. But it can help with the frosts that one might get, or you can get from a good garden supply frost mats that you can actually layer. You can layer it over your mara to protect it further. Or if you're got a bit of an engineering bend, you could actually, as part of a raised bed scenario, you could create a semi-great greenhouse type effect where you're locking in the heat, capturing it from the day and locking it in there. Yeah, it's been interesting coming down to Taupō again and having a look around here and having a look at what's going on in relationship to the environment, looking at the trees, the way the trees are leaning, you can tell which way the wind comes, or the prevailing wind. Yeah, this nice, just looking around this nice rich red colour. And there's types of nutrients that are lacking in this tree. And hence why it's red. Some orange ones over there. Someone's got a bit of a garden in here. It's having a little nosy. But yeah, for your winter stuff, think about where the sun is, how it affects the soil, because you want to keep the soil nice and warm. Alright whānau, hey, click the like button, subscribe, and if you want to join our community, you can jump over to Patreon. We do some training and more deeper activities over there, and you can just pick a tier that you want to join up with and come and join us. Alright, or just look us up on Facebook. We've got a page there that you can join into. But this is Kaitiaki Māra Kai Backyard Gardens here in Taupō, enjoying the time down here, but also having a look at the way people do their gardens around here. Okay.